Namaskar, good evening. This is Breaking Ground and I am Swati Joshi. The deadlock continues just like the protest. Deadlock both inside and outside the parliament as well. Let me first take you through the 5 big developments that have taken place so far. Number 1, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced fast-track courts for speedy hearings in paper leak cases. The Prime Minister said those harming the future of students will not be spared and strict punishment will be ensured. There were reactions that came in. Rahul Gandhi hit back at Prime Minister Modi over paper leak, accusing the government of damaging the education system. He listed the students' demand once again, which included removal of Dharmendra Pradhan, an apology to be offered to the students, and action against those who assaulted the protesters. Development number 3 was the reaction that came in from CJP. CJP, right after Rahul Gandhi responded as well to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's post, the assurance, but CJP remains firm on its demand for Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation. The group says the protest will continue until that demand is met. Apart from that, DMRC shut 17 metro stations across central Delhi until further notice. Entry and exit remain closed. Interchange facilities are available at Rajiv Chowk, Mandi House and Central Secretariat. So commuters have been impacted. They're also been advised to change their journey according to the rules that have been implemented. We'll also tell you all about Thalapathy Vijay's Jananayagan, which has finally hit the theatres. And remember, this is his last film. Jananayagan arrives in theatres after a 7-month delay. The first time this is happening that a sitting Chief Minister's movie is releasing. We'll tell you all about that. First up, the big story that we are tracking, a decisive crackdown on the paper leak syndicate in a massive unyielding message to millions of students across the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared an absolute zero-tolerance policy against exam paper leak mafia. The Prime Minister has vowed that no one who plays with the future of India's youth will be spared. In his message to students, he said that their future is the government's top priority. The Prime Minister has promised fast-track courts for paper leak cases with swift and strict punishment for those found guilty. PM Modi has also directed authorities to take all necessary steps and said that no one playing with the future of the youth will be spared. The government's message, which was of zero tolerance against paper leak mafia and justice for students, will be ensured. That's what the Prime Minister said in his post. Now, this comes amid growing anger among students over paper leaks and demands for strict action against those responsible. Amid the ongoing demonstration by CJP over NEET examination irregularities, Union Minister Jitendra Singh said the centre has reiterated its commitment to dialogue, stating that it has extended multiple formal invitations to student representatives for discussions. The minister informed that the government has sent formal proposals for discussions with their representatives 4 times at least since last afternoon, since the last 48 hours. He also added that this is a standing invitation to all the youth, the students, that the government is ready for discussions on all issues at their convenience at any place and any time.
सरकार की ओर से चर्चा के लिए हम हर समय तैयार हैं. सरकार के दरवाजे खुले हैं. This is a standing invitation to all our youth friends. आप किसी समय भी कभी भी चर्चा करना चाहे, आपकी सुविधा अनुसार हम चर्चा के लिए तैयार हैं. और धीरे धीरे हम इसी चर्चा के माध्यम से समाधान की ओर बढ़ सकते हैं और समाधान से ही नया रास्ता भी निर्धारित हो सकता है. जितने भी पेपर लीक के जिम्मेवार दोषी लोग पाए जाएंगे उनको फास्ट ट्रैक के माध्यम से फैसला होगा ताकि जल्दी निर्णय हो और एक निर्णायक कार्रवाई भी हो.
So you heard MOS PMO Jitendra Singh, they're extending an invitation. He says we are willing to have a conversation as per the convenience of the youth. CJP has responded to that. It's a detailed response that has come in from CJP. And CJP's Ashutosh Ranka claims that the government denied to come to Jantar Mantar. Now that was one of their demands. Either have a dialogue at Jantar Mantar or at a neutral venue, a neutral location. Ashutosh Ranka says there won't be any meeting at JP Nadda's residence like the government has proposed, and insisted that the meeting must happen either at Jantar Mantar or at a neutral location.
जंतर मंतर पे वो लोग बहुत डर रहे आने से, तो हमने बोला चलिए ठीक है, कोई नहीं, आप कोई ऐसी जगह सजेस्ट कर दो जहां ना आपका घर हो ना जंतर मंतर हो, कोई बीच की जगह सजेस्ट कर दो. तो अभी भी जितेंद्र सिंह जी बोल रहे हैं कि हम नड्डा जी के ऑफिस पे या घर पे मीटिंग कर सकते हैं। जनता ने मना कर दिया है कि मीटिंग होगी तो नड्डा जी के घर पे नहीं होगी, या तो जंतर मंतर पर होगी या कोई न्यूट्रल वेन्यू पे होगी। तो आप हमारा फालतू का टाइम बर्बाद नहीं कर सकते। आप अगर हमसे मीटिंग कर रहे हो तो हमें कुछ ना कुछ कॉन्क्रीट चाहिए। लेकिन छोटे लोगों के पीछे इस समय पूरी देश की जनता है, और देश की जनता ने बोला है कि मीटिंग नड्डा जी के घर पे या ऑफिस पे नहीं होगी।
So Ashutosh Ranka says, don't waste our time. We want something concrete to be offered from your end. He is talking about the government. Let's go across to Shivam, who's getting us more details. Shivam, CJP says we don't want to meet at JP Nadda's residence. Jitendra Singh says we are willing to have a conversation at your convenience, place and time that you suggest. So where is the problem?
See, the problem, Swati, is the last time when the CJP's two main spokesperson went to JP Nadda's residence, what they, claim, what they basically alleged after coming out of that they were basically put under house arrest. This is what at least CJP is saying when on 20th of this one particular month when the march was going on. Now, what they're saying is we will not go again to JP Nadda's residence. We want to either have a conversation at Jantar Mantar, which again is not logistically possible because you see the kind of crowd out there, it will be not logistically possible to sit there and have a discussion. Then they are saying that there has to be a neutral location. The problem is not going to decide what this neutral location is about to be, because clearly CJP is adamant on the fact that they would want to have it somewhere where people and media will be able to cover the entire event so that everything comes on record. However, government is
so as of now there are two conditions, Shivam. One, sack Dharmendra Pradhan. Two, if at all there has to be a dialogue, it has to be at a neutral location, and we will not meet at JP Nadda's residence. That's what CJP has said. Government says we've extended formal proposals in the last 48 hours. Shivam, thank you for getting us the details. There is no end to politics over need paper leak. Despite Prime Minister Modi's assurance, opposition has attacked the government. Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, launched an all-out attack. He accused the Prime Minister of causing the greatest harm to the youth's future, alleging that the country's entire education system stands completely destroyed. Rahul Gandhi went further to accuse the administration of protecting those responsible for the leaks, demanding the immediate dismissal of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan alongside a public apology to the students. Other opposition leaders have also launched a strong counter-attack questioning the government's response and the timing.
ये तो वही बात हो गई ना कि बच्चा कह रहा है कि पापा मैं डिजाइनर बनना चाह रहा हूँ, और पापा कह रहे हैं कोई बात नहीं बेटा फिक्र मत करो, मैंने तेरी सेटिंग करके इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में एडमिशन करा दिया। प्रॉब्लम एक है, बच्चा कुछ कह रहा है, आप कुछ और कह रहे हो। नेता है, नेतृत्व दिखाने का समय आ गया है, नेतृत्व दिखाएं। बच्चे कुछ कह रहे हैं, पहले उनकी बात सुने, उनकी मांगे क्या है। स्पष्ट मांगे हैं, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान रिजाइन करे। दूसरा कि जितने भी जिन्होंने इनको मारा है, पीटा है, उन पे कार्रवाई हो। TCS की इनकी डिमांड, जितनी भी डिमांड है इनको पहले आप फुलफिल करो ना, इतना मुश्किल नहीं है।
प्राइम मिनिस्टर का बयान हुआ है, ये इन्वेस्टिगेटिव बयान है ये, और दूसरा जो है पहले बिहार का एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर का इस्तीफा होना चाहिए। चर्चा करने के लिए चर्चा से भाग।
देखिए 12 साल में कुछ नहीं कर सके। राहुल जी ने प्रधानमंत्री आवास पे दस्तक दी तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ट्वीट किया है। अब ट्वीट किया है, कितना आगे करेंगे ये समय बताएगा। सबसे पहले नैतिकता बनती है कि धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी का इस्तीफा हो। धर्मेंद्र प्रधान जी के इस्तीफे से कम पर तो कोई बात ही नहीं होनी चाहिए थी। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने संज्ञान लिया है, इसके लिए नोटिफिकेशन तुरंत जारी हो, और फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट जो बनाने की बात कर रहे हैं, जो कह रहे हैं आप करिए पहले, क्योंकि आपके बोलने पर यकीन नहीं रहा है। आप बोलते बहुत है, आपने तो बहुत सारी नौकरी देने का वादा किया था, अभी तक तो मिली नहीं।
It's an extremely ridiculous statement to make at this point of time. As our LOP has already shown, in the past 10 years, there has been 152 cases of paper leaks. In the same NEET exam has been leaked consecutively for the past 3 years. And children are dying in numbers. And if we need a prime minister to say this after 3 years, then I don't think he is even fit to be there. To even show an iota of semblance in this, and if he is ready for anything, he should start by dismissing or asking his minister to resign.
Fast-track courts for the future of India's youth and the future of this country? Are we joking? India's youth are saying we've lost trust in the system. As far as a dialogue with the political parties is concerned, we've asked for a discussion in Parliament. But the more important is a dialogue with the students. Instead of setting up fast-track courts and putting it on social media, I have a very humble suggestion for the Prime Minister. Please come out of your home, go to Jantar Mantar, meet the students, discuss with them.
हम तो यूपी से यूपी की सरकार चलते देख रहे हैं और भारत सरकार भी दिख रही है। अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? सरकार की अकाउंटेबिलिटी थी। लगता तो ये है इनकी एबिलिटी इतनी दिखाई देती है कि जो अकाउंट भर दे वही अकाउंटेबिलिटी है इनके लिए तो। और ये तो यूपी में बहुत करीब से हम लोग देख रहे हैं। क्या है अकाउंटेबिलिटी? जो एबिलिटी से अकाउंट भर दे वही एबिलिटी लग रहा है इनकी तो अकाउंटेबिलिटी।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big push on paper leaks has triggered a massive political war of words. Meanwhile, union ministers including Finance Minister and Commerce Minister have come out in support of the Prime Minister's message. Listen in.
At the level of the Prime Minister, a response has been given. In fact, much before today's announcement of setting up fast-track courts, there are people, ordinary citizens who are in the country who, for their selfish reason, violated and bought and sold papers, leaked papers. They've all been arrested. And today's announcement by the Prime Minister assures the citizens, the mothers and the fathers who are so expecting their children and supporting them to make sure that they pass these examinations because it's their career.
आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने स्पष्ट कर दिया है कि कठोर से कठोर कार्रवाई की जाएगी। जो दोषी हैं ऐसे कारनामों के लिए फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बनाकर सजा दी जाएगी। हमारा कांग्रेस पार्टी और विपक्ष से अनुरोध है कि विषय का राजनीतिकरण ना करें, भागे मत, चर्चा कीजिए।
All right, we have some breaking inputs coming in. CJP has given a call for nationwide protest tomorrow, and this comes after their refusal to hold talks with government. CJP, remember, said that they don't want to have a conversation at JP Nadda's residence. They want the government to converse with them, have a dialogue with them at Jantar Mantar or at a neutral location. And now CJP has given a call for a nationwide protest. So that's the breaking input coming in at the moment, a nationwide protest call given by CJP. After refusing to hold talks with the government, there clearly is no end to this impasse. The deadlock continues both inside and outside the parliament as well. Mohit is getting us more details on the broadcast. Let's quickly go across to him. Mohit, so first CJP gave a detailed response and said, we don't want to talk at JP Nadda's residence. We want to have a conversation at a neutral location, or we want the government to come to Jantar Mantar. The government did not agree to that. CJP now says there will be a nationwide protest. They've given a call for a nationwide protest tomorrow.
Well, yes, in fact, Swati, the CJP has called for a nationwide protest in every district of the country. Now, we know for a fact that how there have been various protests which have turned violent in various parts of the country. So it's also the responsibility of the CJP leadership to note this fact that no anti-social elements come into these protests and then indulge in violence. Now, on the other hand, Jitendra Singh, MOS PMO, has clearly stated we are ready for talks, we are ready for debate and discussion. discussion, and also we are always open to talk with the CJP and the protesters. So the government also extended olive branch. Earlier also meeting happened, that did not yield any results, and now what we see is that CJP will be having a protest nationwide that is scheduled for take place tomorrow. In the parliament also, Swati, I was there for the whole day. There was a massive ruckus in the parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The opposition made it clear that they want Dharmendra Pradhan to resign. The government said that you, that is the opposition, said that we want to have a debate and discussion on NEET. We also want to have debate and discussion on NEET, because Prime Minister today also put out a social media post that what steps would be taken, fast-track courts will be formed to ensure that justice is meted out to the people.
Absolutely,
and those who have
that's the irony.
in paper leaks.
That exactly is the irony, that the government says we want to have a conversation. The opposition says yes, do discuss, but first meet our demands. CJP says we also want to hold talks, but the talks are simply not happening because there are a lot of hurdles in the way. Thank you very much, Mohit, for getting us the details. We'll connect with you again for more updates. Shifting focus to breaking inputs coming in. The New Delhi Traders Association, the NDTA, has issued an urgent advisory directing all shops, offices and restaurants in CP Connaught Place to close by 6:30 p.m. today, stating that the decision follows advice from the NDMC chairman and vice chairman in view of a critical situation in the area. And there on your screens is that notification. Let me go across to Shivam for more on that. Shivam, what is going to happen? The advice from the chairman of the NDMC, says NDTA, is that there is a critical situation in the area. What is this critical situation?
So, Swati, this entire area of Connaught Place is just, what not even a kilometer away from Jantar Mantar. And we have seen in the last 3 days, especially at the time of evening, when there are peak office hours, there's a huge traffic congestion. At that time, the footfall also increases near around Jantar Mantar. And we have seen, a certain scuffle breaking out. Yesterday also, there was an incident of violence breaking out. Day before yesterday at Connaught Place, we have seen police officials trying to vacate the entire area because there were certain protesters who went there as well. So, while for now, it seems like the critical situation is just a precautionary situation on the behalf of NDMC after observing the situation in the last 2 days. Again, on the other hand, we are seeing the Aam Aadmi Party's national convener Arvind Kejriwal is pointing out the government and the police is doing some kind of conspiracy. They might resort to a certain level of violence. However, we need to understand these sensitive matters. Till the time there has been no official information given by any security officials, any police officials, we can't go for that. For now, it seems like it's a precautionary step, seeing the sensitivity of the situation, and also the increased footfall in the last.
Right, so you're saying it's a precautionary measure, but like you mentioned, politics already happening on that, with Arvind Kejriwal and others saying that perhaps something is going to happen. That's the reason why this advisory and notification. Thank you very much, Shivam, for getting us the details. Let's move on. Let's talk about what transpired in Parliament. Adjournment after adjournment is all that we are witnessing. Day 4 of the monsoon session witnessed no let-up in the political confrontation over the CJP protest and the NEET paper leak controversy. The opposition intensified its demand for Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation, holding coordinated protests inside Parliament while INDI bloc leaders met to chalk out their strategy. Parliament's Makar Dwar turned into the epicenter of a political face-off as the NDA and the opposition staged rival demonstrations just meters apart. While the BJP accused Rahul Gandhi of provoking students for political gains, the opposition intensified its demand for the resignation of the Education Minister over the paper leak controversy. Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra joined the protest, holding placards demanding Pradhan's exit as both sides traded slogans in one of the most dramatic scenes of the monsoon session.
नेता हैं, नेतृत्व दिखाने का समय आ गया है। नेतृत्व दिखाएं। बच्चे कुछ कह रहे हैं, पहले उनकी बात सुने। उनकी मांगे क्या है? स्पष्ट मांगे हैं, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान रिजाइन करे।
हम तो यूपी से हैं, यूपी की सरकार चलते देख रहे हैं और भारत सरकार भी दिख रही है। अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? सरकार की अकाउंटेबिलिटी थी।
Mallikarjun Kharge reiterated that the education minister must resign before any meaningful discussion takes place. TMC's Mawa Moitra warned the government that the opposition would not compromise inside parliament after what it called police brutality against students. CPIM's John Brittas declared that the agitation would now move beyond parliament and onto the streets. Listen in.
The opposition will not understand, appreciate any decision of the government, because they are here to do politics, political one-upmanship. Who are these people? Any agitation you will see, they will be in the front. जनता वोट देती नहीं तो बाकी करते हैं, ये ठीक नहीं है। नौजवानों के हित में हम साथ खड़े हैं, होना भी चाहिए, सरकार भी कमिटेड है, लेकिन इनका काम सिर्फ पॉलिटिकल वन अपमैनशिप है। राहुल गांधी, उधर से आ गया अखिलेश यादव, अब आ गया अरविंद केजरीवाल, ये गलत है।
आप युवा बच्चों को बुलाकर 2-2 घंटे घर में बिठाते हैं, बात नहीं करते हैं, उनको रुस्वा करते हैं। आप उनसे तो बात करना सीख लीजिए ना। आप क्या बोल रहे हैं? सब तो आपकी वजह से हो रहा है, सब आपकी वजह से हो रहा है, सरकार की वजह से हो रहा है। अपोजिशन को क्यों ब्लेम कर रहे हैं? डिबेट क्या डिबेट कराएंगे आप? आपको जो गलती आपसे हुई है उसका तो इकरार करिए। आप इकरार ही नहीं कर रहे हैं। आप समझ रहे हैं कि हमारे पास ब्रूट मेजॉरिटी, हम सबको दबा देंगे। आप नहीं दबा पाएंगे, अंडर एस्टिमेट कर रहे हैं इसको।
हम देख रहे हैं कि आज तीसरे दिन दिल्ली में सारे मेट्रो स्टेशन बंद किया गया है। ये ऐसे सरकार नहीं चला सकते इन लोग। दिल्ली इज अंडर सीज। हमारे और अंदर पार्लियामेंट के अंदर और पार्लियामेंट के बाहर एक ही मांग है, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान इस्तीफा दो। सरकार अगर चाहती है कि वो हमारे साथ अंदर कॉम्प्रोमाइज करके बाहर बच्चों के आवाज को चुप कराए, ये कभी नहीं होने वाला है। बाहर जनता की जो आवाज है, अंदर पार्लियामेंट में जनप्रतिनिधि का भी वही मांग है। धर्मेंद्र प्रधान मस्ट रिजाइन। कोई चर्चा नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, पहले रिजाइन फिर कोई बात।
हम तो यूपी की सरकार चलते देख रहे हैं और भारत सरकार भी दिख रही है। अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? अकाउंटेबिलिटी किसकी है? सरकार की अकाउंटेबिलिटी थी। लगता तो ये है इनकी एबिलिटी इतनी दिखाई देती है कि जो अकाउंट भर दे वही अकाउंटेबिलिटी है इनके लिए तो। और ये तो यूपी में बहुत करीब से हम लोग देख रहे हैं। क्या है अकाउंटेबिलिटी? जो एबिलिटी से अकाउंट भर दे वही एबिलिटी लग रहा है इनकी तो, अकाउंटेबिलिटी।
आज सुबह प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक बयान दिया है इस पूरे जो युवाओं का आंदोलन है उसके ऊपर। उसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बनाएंगे। फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट तो युवाओं ने मांगा ही नहीं था। फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट की तो डिमांड ही नहीं थी। डिमांड तो थी कि भाई अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स करो। जो शिक्षा मंत्री है उसका इस्तीफा होना चाहिए, वो जिम्मेदार है। उस पर तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कुछ बोला ही नहीं। कह रहे फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बनाएंगे। फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट तो इस देश में पहले से बहुत बने हुए हैं। पॉक्सो के लिए बना हुआ है, रेप केसेस के लिए बने हुए हैं और बड़े बड़े कई सारे मुद्दों के ऊपर फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बने हुए हैं। उससे क्या न्याय मिल जाता है?
As protests intensified outside Parliament, INDI bloc leaders gathered at the Parliament House for another strategy meeting. Akhilesh Yadav, Rahul Gandhi, Mahua Moitra and Mallikarjun Kharge were present at the meeting amongst others. The NDA too mounted a political counter-offensive. BJP leaders accused the opposition of converting a serious issue into political theatre and defended the government's handling of the matter. Treasury bench MPs insisted Parliament should function and discussions should take place instead of disruptions. As the confrontation spilled from the well in the House into the corridors of Parliament, both camps shifted to closed-door strategy. On one side, Rahul Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Mahua Moitra and Saugata Roy met Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla amid the continuing deadlock over paper leak. At the same time, on the Treasury benches, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a key meeting with senior union ministers, including Kiran Rijiju, Jitendra Singh and Ram Mohan Naidu. TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee arrived wearing a placard alleging that 20 traitors were sitting with the BJP inside Parliament, adding yet another flashpoint to an already stormy session. Let's go across to Mohit, who's getting us more details on that. Mohit, like I said, the deadlock continues both inside and outside the Parliament. Arvind Kejriwal and others are saying that the Prime Minister may be promising fast-track court, but the students never demanded that. They are demanding the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. Why not start with that? That's what the opposition says.
Well, Swati, the government has made it clear to the opposition that we want debate and discussion. let's have debate and discussion on the issue of NEET. Let's have debate and discussion what the steps have been taken by the government post the NEET paper was leaked. Then again the paper went off successfully, and also what are the steps taken by the government to ensure that there are no further leaks in not just in NEET but other papers. But then we saw that how the opposition parties, they have clearly come out and they have said that unless and until Dharmendra Pradhan would resign, they will continue with their protests and Parliament won't function. It's been 4 days that continuously this particular issue has dominated the course of the Parliament, and still we do not have even a single bill that is being tabled in the Parliament. Now we saw that, as you rightly pointed out, in both camps meeting happened. Prime Minister met the top union ministers from the NDA also, and then the strategy is being chalked out that what exactly the government needs to do to ensure that the debate happens, because Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju stated that the opposition first demanded that there has to be a debate and discussion on NEET. We are ready for it. You decide the time, you decide the rule, and you decide the duration also. But then suddenly the BJP and the government say the opposition parties made a flip-flop and they diverted the whole issue by saying that we want the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. You cannot have discussion like that. This is what the government says. On the other hand, Congress party and the opposition say that the main demand of the students who are protesting and also of the opposition is to ensure that Dharmendra Pradhan resigns, and unless and until that happens, they will continue with their protest. So tomorrow is Friday, last week of the Parliament.
Mohit, a lot of discussion is taking place on how the discussion should happen inside the Parliament. The only thing which isn't happening inside the Parliament is a discussion on the paper leak, on what transpired at Jantar Mantar. Thank you, Mohit, for getting us the details. A quick break. With that, we have a lot more lined up on the other side.